Right, welcome to this Codex review for the brand new Space Marines Codex that's come through. So Games Workshop very kindly sent me a copy along with the two new supplements as well for White Scars and Ultramarines. It's been a bit of a delay in the post, so my review is a bit late compared to the others that are out there. But I'll do a full review here. I think the last time I did Space Marines, for 8th edition, when all the rules had changed, I went for every single unit. The review was about 2.5 to 3 hours long. I don't think that's going to be particularly helpful for people, so what I'll do here is I'm going to major on the changes, so the new units, and then Warlord Traits, new rules, general rules for Space Marines, those kind of things. I'm going to focus in on that, and then presume that as you're watching this you've already got a pretty good knowledge of Space Marines in general. That means I could skip over some of the sort of standard rules and get to the core changes and improvements here. Games Workshop certainly have been listening to feedback, perhaps more than ever before. The improvements for Space Marines here across the board, so very exciting stuff. I'm particularly interested in this. I'm running Primaris Red Scorpions. I've been waiting for this codex here to arrive, and then now I'm going to rewrite my lists for that force and get them up and running as soon as possible. Got Imperial Fist as well. It's pure Space Marine army, regular Marines, so it'd be great to see the improvements just for standard Space Marines. A lot of people out there want to see an improvement for them. I think that's happened. And then obviously James running his Ultramarines as well, and there are different chapters also, no doubt there'll be books coming out later for them, Blood Angels and Space Wolves and so on. So plenty of interest here on my part, and James as well, to see an improvement for the Space Marines, and they are the biggest and most popular faction in 40k as well. So I usually get my discount Games Workshop stuff from gamingfigures.com, so you can check them out. There'll be a link in the video description below. So they do discount 40k and other gaming systems at a discounted rate as well. But thanks to Games Workshop for sending me this copy through, and the supplements as well. I'll do those in separate videos of supplements, so you can check those out in individual videos. So it is an exciting time for collected Space Marines. I think this is a smaller codex because Games Workshop going down the route of separating out the different chapters into supplements now. Then they've been able to remove, I think, some of the themed characters for those chapters, so that they're taken away, and it's slimmed down the book. I think it's a great idea and encouraging, because these supplements that are coming out, I'm hoping we may see something like that for Astra Militarum regiments in the future. Hopefully you'll get a Astra Militarum Codex, and then you'll get supplements for different regiments. That could be an exciting prospect in the future. I think Games Workshop are going to obviously they brought out this standard Space Marines. They're going to have to update now Space Wolves, Blood Angels and so on. But then when they get to Astra Militarum, you may see a standard Astra Militarum Codex, and then maybe supplements for the regiments. I really hope that happens with some exciting new miniatures as well. So for that, I did do a petition video asking Games Workshop about Astra Militarum regiments. Just to give you a quick update here, I sent on the links to the video and talked to my contacts at Games Workshop, so that information has been passed on, and I hope it has some influence at GW that we'll see those regiments in the future, just for those of you looking for an update on that. So Space Marines here, I'll go through the content here as well. It's beautifully produced as per usual. So all the artwork here updated with the new units. Ancient Origins here. This is their flagship publication. This is Space Marines here. This has got to be good. It looks fantastic. Tools of War. So yeah, Space Marines have been struggling, and the number of bonuses that have been given now, as you'll see a bit later, just shows how much they've been lagging behind. It's a chapter organisation, companies of the chapter, beyond the Ultima founding. Fantastic artwork here. The Ultramarines, Sons of Guilliman. Yeah, this is the same artwork from the previous codex here. Successor chapters. Always good for some inspiration here. Silver Skulls. Liberators. Interesting colour scheme. Praetors of Orpheus. Nice. Always had a soft spot. I think I said this in the previous review. Howling Griffins. Going all the way back to a White Dwarf magazine years ago, and there was a guy on there was collecting. Had a collection of these. They look fantastic. The Games actually did a battle report with them. They look brilliant. I've always liked them since then. It's Howling Griffins. Which is all pretty much the same artwork here, I think, as the Imperial Fists. And hopefully they'll get their own supplement for them. Heraldry markings, all Primaris here. And Successor chapters. It's the White Scars. They have their supplement that's come out. It's interesting. Games Workshop chose to get these as one of the first to have the supplement, but there they are. Successor chapters here for them. There's the Mentis Warriors. And the Raven Guard. Heraldry markings. Successor chapters for them. Salamanders. Markings. Iron Hands. And Successor chapters there. Unknown Foundings. Yeah, fighting against the Eldar. Beautiful piece of artwork, that one. Types of units then: commanders, command squads, librarians, chaplains, apothecaries, tech marines, battle line squads. Brilliant here. Superb. Always had a soft spot for the Crimson Fists. Really nice colour scheme. And again, the influence for that goes all the way back to the rulebook. I think it was 2nd edition, as that famous piece of artwork where this is the modern version of it here, Primaris Marines, but going all the way back, fighting against the Orks, and there's this piece of artwork, the Crimson Fist making a last stand. They're surrounded. That was that artwork, that piece of artwork that got me into 40k. Just used to look at it for ages. Amazing piece of artwork, very atmospheric, loads going on in the picture, so much detail, and that just got me drawn into the hobby. So close combat, close support squads there as well. Fire support squads, veteran squads, combat walkers, dreadnoughts, scout squads, transport vehicles. Battle tanks. So what's encouraging here, if they've made a fix for regular Marines, and that's going to keep them going, not phasing them out, but they've improved them. That's good to see the regular Marines improved. They could have gone either direction. They could have phased out Marines and said, well, they're no good anymore, we'll go for Primaris, but they haven't. It seems that they have improved the standard Space Marine, which is great news. Gunships, Land Raiders. Sigma Astartes says you have reference here for all your painting. That's the new Incursor squads down here. The Eliminators, that's the new Walker, the Invicta Tactica. We'll sort of focusing on these kind of units here to check out the rules. So it'll be like a Tactica sort of review. I'll be giving my verdict on these different units and if I'm the new units and whether I'm tempted to get them. They look good, but are they good in the game is the question here. That's the Redemptor. I have one of those painted up already for the Red Scorpions. It's the new Transport, the Impulsor. Like the weapons look great on top of that. It is a bit of a floating rhino though, but it still looks very good. So yeah, this is what wired a lot of Space Marine players. You see this loadout here, just checking, it's all Primaris. And so some Marine players, some of the comments I was reading, they're saying, oh no, this could be the end of standard Marines. But hopefully not. Okay, so on to the rules then. Defenders of Mankind. So talking about your chapter keywords here, making them all match up. So abilities. The Angels of Death ability is common to several Adeptus Astartes units. So Angels of Death. Now, if it has that keyword, then this unit has the following abilities: Elation and No Fear, familiar with that one. Bolt of Discipline, that's Games Workshop brought that rule in. Now it's finalised here in the book. And then Shock Assault and Combat Doctrines as well. It just shows you how much improvement regular Marines needed to make them more respectable on the battlefield, because they, I was running Imperial Fists, and the standard tactical marine wasn't really much to be feared, and it should be a space marine, should be something feared on the battlefield. So hopefully this will help push them in a better direction. So Elation and No Fear, same rules. Morale test is taken, you can re-roll the dice. So re-rollable morale, Bolt of Discipline. I'll just cover this here. This is the finalised rule. Instead of following the normal rules for rapid fire weapons, models in this unit firing rapid fire bolt weapons make double the number of attacks if the firing model's target unit is within half the weapon's maximum range. That's the usual rules. And then the firing model is infantry, and every model in its unit remains stationary in your previous movement phase. Right, so every model does have to remain still. That's interesting. So you can't conga line and still get that. The firing model is a Terminator, Biker, Centurion, or Dreadnoughts. Dreadnoughts get it, and the Centurions as well. Okay. The purpose of this ability: a rapid fire bolt weapon is any bolt weapon as defined in page 166 with the rapid fire type. So we know that they always had that on there. Bolt of Discipline has been brought in. Now there's Shock Assault. If this unit makes a charge move, is charged, or performs heroic intervention, you have 1 to the attacks characteristic of models in this unit until the end of the turn. So it's a brilliant bonus, and it encourages you to go more aggressive with your Marines, or even counter-attack with them and get that extra attack. That is big. Great improvement. If you're standard Marine, fantastic. Then there's Combat Doctrines. James is excited about this one here. Models in this unit gain a bonus depending on which combat doctrine is active for your army. If you have a battle-forged army, units only benefit from this bonus if every unit from your army has this ability, excluding servitor on unaligned units. Unless specified otherwise, this bonus is not cumulative with any other rules that improve arm penetration characteristic of a weapon, e.g. Storm of Fire. Is not cumulative. Interesting. Yeah, because I usually take Storm of Fire, and that's a very popular one. So a bit of rethinking here to do. I get this right here. Your army needs to be battle forged. Every unit for your army has this ability in your army, so you've got to be wary of allies being taken as well for this. So at the start of the battle, the Devastator Doctrine is active. The Combat Doctrine remains active for the duration of the battle, though you can change which Combat Doctrine is active once at the start of each battle round after the first. So you get Devastator Doctrine as standard, and you keep that active for as long as you want during the game, and then you can switch to the 2 others. So if the Devastator Doctrine was active during that previous battle round, let's say it's turn 2 and you've had Devastator Doctrine active, you can change it so that the Tactical Doctrine is now active, and then turn 3 onwards, if the Tactical Doctrine was active during the previous battle round, so it was active on turn 2, you come to turn 3, you can change it so the Assault Doctrine is now active. So it's representing the Space Marines putting a focus on softening up the opponent with long range heavy firepower. Then Tactical Doctrines, where they're getting closer and again softening the opponent up, and then the Assault Doctrine is where they close in for the kill. So that's what it represents. So Devastator Doctrine, armor penetration characteristic of heavy and grenade weapons. This model was equipped with is improved by 1. So your las cannons AP -4 instead of AP -3. It's great. And that'll suit my fists. Using all the las cannons. Tactical Doctrine. If you then switch, armor penetration of rapid fire and assault weapons models equipped with is improved by 1. I think that's one of the best. That is excellent. Yeah, all the bolter shots, hurricane bolters and so on, all turning into AP -1. Brilliant for clearing away hordes. Should be able to chew through hordes nice and quickly. Yeah, it's really good. It's a massive improvement. And then Assault Doctrine. The arm penetration characteristic of pistol and melee weapons is improved by 1. So even your chainswords now all of a sudden become pretty good. Yep. So excellent. And then something else I've seen, on top of all these bonuses, your tactical marines have dropped by a point as well, I believe. I'm sure they're 13 points previously, they're now 12. So this is big. I think this is going to have a pretty big impact now. Space Marines should rocket back up to the top, or if not be one of the highest performing factions. I think there's a lot of improvements stacked up here. It's not small. If you stack all these up, this is pretty big. Okay, so as I said, I'm sure most viewers are going to want to see the focus on the new stuff, so that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to be passing over most of these unit entries here with not too much detail on these, just to get to the main the new units, and then later on like the relics and warlord traits and psychic disciplines and so on. So I'll make some passing remarks here, but Primaris captain, solid choice, 6 wounds, 5 attacks, brilliant. Captain Gravis armor, I have him leading my Captain Dark Trophies for my Red Scorpions. Gravis armor, yeah. Captain Phobos armor, Captain Terminator armor, Captain Cataphracti armor, standard Space Marine captain, Captain of Bike, lieutenants. Just checking here. So these standard infantry all come with Angels of Death. So all that stack of rolls, they come with that. Reroll ones for attacks made by chapter units after 6 hasn't changed here for all of these. And the new lieutenant's going to be reroll wound rolls of 1. It's all the same as previously here. Primaris lieutenants. Your librarian, be fascinating. Later on we'll take a look at the psychic powers here. There must be an improvement. We'll see what Games Workshop have done. And the lieutenants in Phobos armor as well. Primaris librarian, Primaris chaplain. There's been some changes here for these as well. So this model knows the Litany of Hate, see below, and one litany from the Litanies of Battle at the start. I love chaplains, so this is exciting stuff. At the start of the battle round, this model can recite one litany it knows that has not already been recited by a friendly model at battle round. Roll 1d6 on a 3+. The recited litany is inspiring and takes effect until the start of the battle round. So, Litany of Hate. If this litany is inspiring, it's interesting. It's a roll off now. You can re-roll hit rolls for attacks made by melee weapons by models in friendly chapter units past the units within 6 inches of this model. That's sort of the standard, and then you'll see the other ones a bit later on. Yeah, it makes sense to do it now. Yeah, it's page 188. I think it's logical to do it now. Here. So, Litanies of Battle. So it's interesting that it's a roll off here. 3+. Makes them a little bit more volatile. Yeah. Interesting they've made that a 3+. Not as solid, not as reliable here. Something to worry about that you need to potentially use the command reroll for. Litanies of Battle. So you could choose that one or one from here, and you can roll a d6 or you can choose which. So Litany of Faith here. If this litany is inspiring, when a model or a friendly chapter unit in 6 of this model would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound, you can roll 1d6. 5+, that wound is not lost. This is not cumulative of any similar rolls, e.g. Psychic Fortress. Okay. So, for the battle. So it's useful, just like your psychic powers, if you know who you're up against, then you can pick the appropriate litany here. So, that's useful enough for sure. So you can now adjust your chaplain depending on who you're fighting against. Catechism of Fire. If this litany is inspiring, select one friendly chapter unit within 6 of this model. When resolving an attack made by a ranged weapon by a model in that unit against the closest visible enemy unit, add 1 to the wound rolls. +1 to wounds, but it has to be against the closest enemy units. That's okay, it's not bad. But it does limit you, it has to be the closest enemy unit. Exaltation of Rage. If this litany is inspiring, select one friendly chapter unit within 6. When resolving an attack made with a melee weapon by a model in that unit, on an unmodified hit roll of 6, you can make an additional attack against the same unit using the same weapon. This additional attack cannot generate another attack. So, combo there would be 2 chaplains. If I get this right, you could do 1 chaplain activates Litany of Hate, so you re-roll hit rolls. Ooh, something big here. Litany is inspiring, you can re-roll hit rolls for attacks made by melee weapons. It doesn't say failed hit rolls, it just says re-roll hit rolls. Now this is helpful for Terminators, for sure. Just says re-roll hit rolls. Yep, that's pretty big. Wow, pretty big here, this one. Chaplains are worth paying attention to here for sure. And then you take a second chaplain and then give him Exaltation of Rage. So then you've got 1 chaplain granting reroll all the hit rolls, and then E6s generating extra attacks, which then become re-rollable because of the other chaplain. That could be a double combo there. Mantra of Strength. If this is exciting for Blood Angels here, it's bound to be the same kind of rules for them. If this litany is inspiring, add 1 to the model's attacks and strength characteristics, and add 1 to the damage characteristic of melee weapons this model is equipped with. Right, so it's actually the chaplain himself. Okay, so if you want a super chaplain and getting stuck in, then you can improve the actual model itself. Recitation of Focus. Select 1 friendly chapter unit within 6 of this model. Resolving an attack made by a ranged weapon, add 1 to the hit roll. Okay, so not bad. And then Canticle of Hate. If this listing is inspiring, add 2 to charge rolls made for friendly chapter units also within 6 of this model. Wow. In addition, when a friendly chapter unit makes a pile or consolidate move within 6 of this model, models in that unit can move up to an additional 3 inches. This is not cumulative of any other ability that adds to unit's charge roll or increases the distance it can pile or consolidate. Friendly chapter units are also in 6. Unbelievable. Canticle of Hate. This is I'm thinking, you add assault troops jump packing in, chaplain with a jump pack lands with them, activates on a 3+, or multiple units nearby, whatever units nearby, +2 to the charge rolls. Unbelievable. Chaplains are back with a bang here. Pretty good. HQ chaplain 72. Right, looks like there's no change in points. So they've been pretty cheap. I've been a big fan of them, especially for my Blood Angels, but yeah, pretty good. Amazing. Very, really good. Yeah, chaplain here. Litany of Hate's the same. Yeah. Chaplains are brilliant. That's really good. Okay, so they are ones to think carefully about incorporating those into your army. That's for Primaris and for regular Marines. But and quite realistic here, different litanies and so on. Brilliant. So chaplains are superb, right? So Tech Marine, usual rules for them. Librarian, or maybe we'll check out the psychic powers now. Now, whilst we're at the entry here, so we'll check out Librarian, psychic powers next. So they've done, there's 2 now. There's Librarius Discipline and Obscuration Discipline. So a lot of Space Marines have been saying psychic powers are not particularly good. compared to what other factions have. There's been some solid ones there, but we'll see here what's available. Before the battle, generate the psychic powers for whichever chapter Psyker models that knows powers and librarians discipline using the table below. You can either roll a d6 or you can choose. Yeah, so your entry is going to tell you. Librarian and Phobos armor. It knows 2 psychic powers from the obscuration discipline, right, so that's fine. So that gets access from there. Librarian and Terminator armor gets Librarius. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, so I remember now, when these came out, Games Workshop gave them a separate disciplines here. So your standard chaplain, your standard librarian here, this is whether it's worth taking these or not. Veil of Time. There's a walk charge value of 6. If manifested, select one friendly chapter unit within 18 of this Psyker. Until the start of your next psychic phase, when an advance roll or charge roll is made for that unit, you can re-roll the dice, re-rollable charges, useful. You start combining that with a chaplain. Pretty good. In addition, that unit always fights first in the fight phase, even if it did not charge. Nice bonus. And if the enemy has units that have charged or have a similar ability, then alternate choosing which units to fight with, starting with the player's turn is taking place. Yeah. Veil of Time. Okay, it's easy to go off on a 6. So, yeah, useful. If you've got a very aggressive, combat-based army, that's very useful. Might of Heroes. Walk charge value of 6. Very low amounts needed to make these go off. If manifested, select one friendly chapter model within 12 of the Psyker. Until the start of your next psychic phase, add 1 to that model's strength, toughness, and attacks. If an attack scores a hit on a unit that has more than 1 toughness characteristic, use the unit's lowest toughness characteristic when making the resultant wound roll for that attack. Yeah, it's a model. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, useful for protecting like a tough vehicle or something, if you need to add extra toughness. Or a souping up a character, or a dreadnought. A dreadnought actually would be useful. Null Zone, so it kills off the invuln save. Walk charge value of 7. If manifested until the start of your next psychic phase, the invuln saves cannot be made for enemy units whilst they're within 6 inches of the Psyker, and when a psychic test is taken from an enemy model within 6 inches of the Psyker, the result is halved. Useful if there's a particularly nasty model in invuln save, then you can equip your librarian appropriately. Psychic Scourge, walk charge value of 6. Select one enemy unit within 18 and visible to the Psyker, so it doesn't have to be the closest. Then roll 1d6 and add the Psyker's leadership characteristic to the results, probably a 9. Yep, usually. Your opponent then rolls 1d6 and adds the highest leadership characteristic of models in the selected unit to the result, which 9 is, very high. If your total score is higher than your opponent's, the selected unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. If it's equal to your opponent's score, it's 1 mortal wound. And that's it. Okay, tame enough with Psychic Scourge. Fury of the Ancients, walk charge value of 7. If manifested, select one enemy model within 12 and visible to the Psyker. Draw the shortest possible imaginary straight line 1mm wide between the Psyker's base and the model's base. The selected model's unit and any other enemy unit in this line suffers a mortal wound. It could be useful. I'm surprised they're not too devastating. I think Veil of Time is the useful one. Psychic Fortress, so walk charge value of 5. Manifested, select one friendly Adeptus starters unit of 18. To the start of your next psychic phase, when morale test for that unit, do not roll a dice, it's auto pass. In addition, when a model in that unit would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound in the psychic phase, roll d6. On a 4+, the wound is not lost. That is very useful if you're up against a lot of psychic stuff. So again, you can equip your librarian appropriately, but Psychic Fortress is strong. At 4+ to ignore mortal wounds is very, very useful. Yeah. Say your Marines fighting against, say, the Thousand Suns, loads of smite coming through, then the lead unit can absorb the mortal wounds a lot better. Obscuration Discipline then. Shrouding has a walk charge value of 6. Manifested, select one friendly chapter Phobos unit with 18 to the Psyker. To the start of the next psychic phase, any models can only shoot that unit if the closest target is visible to them or they are firing Overwatch. It's a brilliant power, absolutely fantastic power, that one. Really restricts the opponent with shrouding. Soul Sight. So warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one friendly chapter Phobos unit in 18 of the Psyker. To the start of your next psychic phase, resolving an attack made by a ranged weapon model on that unit, you can reroll the hit roll, and the target does not receive the benefit of cover, which is okay. Yeah, no, it's useful. Mind Raid. There's a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy model within 18 and visible to the Psyker. That model's unit suffers mortal wound. If your army is battle forged, and that model is a character, or 3d6. If the result is equal to or greater than leadership, you gain a command point. Oh, interesting. Twist there to that psychic power. Hallucination. Warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 18 and visible to the Psyker, and to the start of the next psychic phase, subtract 1 for the leadership characteristic of models in that unit. The opponent then rolls 2d6. If the result is greater than the highest leadership characteristic of models in that unit, then until the start of your next psychic phase, resolve an attack made by a model, the unit subtract 1 from the hit roll. It's okay. Tenebrous Curse. It's a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy unit that cannot fly, within 18 and visible to the Psyker. The unit suffers a mortal wound. And until the start of your next psychic phase, you halve the move and the result of any advance and charge rolls. Could be tactically very useful. Yep. Yeah, just at the right point. Just cripple an enemy unit by slowing it right down. Yeah, may well prove useful, that one. Temporal Corridor. It's a warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select one friendly chapter Phobos unit in 3. Then it can immediately move as if it were the movement phase, but it cannot fall back as part of your move and must advance. And the advance roll is made. For that advance, roll 3d6 and discard 2 of the results. You cannot use Temporal Corridor on the same unit more than once per psychic phase. Cannot fall back. Interesting. So you can shift a unit quickly with Temporal Corridor if you need to. Some interesting powers there. The Obscuration. Discipline. So that's your psychic powers covered. Chaplain and Terminator armor. So your Intercessor squad then. So I'm not going to go through all the details of these. This is standard Primaris unit now. Yeah, 3 attacks on the charge nowadays. Pretty good. I do rate Intercessors. I think they're fantastic. That 2 wounds just makes them so much more durable on the battlefield. And the bolt rifle now, when that tactical discipline's in action, then you're on AP -2 with your rapid fire bolt rifles. Fantastic. Yeah, brilliant. God, your Stalker bolt rifle with Devastator Doctrines on AP -3. Pretty good. Your grenades, you know, you've got the potential of crack grenades coming in at AP -2. Brilliant. Yeah, and the chainsword is really good now because you're an additional attack with it also. So, you know, Assault Marines, when you've got the Assault Doctrine going on, 3 attacks each on the charge at AP -1. Great. So Intercessor squads, it's the Sergeant and 4 Intercessors. You can add up to 5 more. They have the Angels of Death, all those are all stacked up. And the grenade launch there gives you the 30-inch range on the grenade. Every model may be equipped to 1 auto bolt rifle instead of 1 bolt rifle. The auto bolt rifle is not bad now in that tactical doctrine. Assault 3, range 24, pretty good. Yeah, pretty good now. Okay. Then every model may be can be equipped to 1 Stalker bolt rifle instead of 1 bolt rifle. So, yeah, pretty good. It might see. So it's always been the bolt rifle is a standard option and it's a shame that the other options have been neglected. You may see a resurge of those. The auto bolt rifle now have the potential of AP-1 and lots of shots at a good range. Range 24, you're still getting your maximum amount of shots on the move. Yep, so an option now, and the Stalker bolt rifle is scary enough as well. Interesting. And then the Intercessor Sergeant can be given a bolt rifle, auto bolt rifle, Stalker bolt rifle, chain sword, and a hand flamer. That's the options there. And then it can additionally be, if it's not equipped with a chain sword, it can additionally be equipped with one weapon from the Intercessor Sergeant weapons list. And then for every 5, you can take a auxiliary grenade launcher. So squad of 10, you can get 2 of those grenade launchers. I rate the Intercessors, and they're better now with the new sort of universal rules for Marines. Tactical Marines, not going to go into any details of those. I think it's a standard loadout for them still. Just the universal rules for Angels of Death now stacked on top. They are your cheaper option, and still dependable enough, and a vast improvement now for them. So useful, looking for cheap battalions, for example, looking to flesh your army out, then Tactical Marines is a great option. Infiltrators are a troop's choice, and so are the new Incursors as well. Fantastic options now. You really can customise your Space Marine army depending on what philosophy you want to go for. Defensive, gun line, middle ground, or assault. You really can pick very carefully the appropriate units. Yeah, plenty of options. So you could go for a really sort of infiltrator type Space Marine army. I imagine that'd be a lot of fun. Sort of stealthy type, Reavers and Infiltrators type squads being used. Yeah, very cool. This sort of evolution of the Space Marines. Brilliant. But that's previously covered here, so I'll not go through all the rules for these, but a good solid Primaris choice. The Marksman Bolt Carbine, range 24, rapid fire 1. Any unmodified hit rolls of 6, automatically scores a hit and wounds the target automatically. And you come in, I don't think they're that great, those weapons, only 1 shot. So, they're okay. But I would still rate the firepower from regular Intercessors, for sure, over and above these. But tactically a bit more useful, you can deploy it concealed on the battlefield. So the Incursor squad, we'll zone in on this one here. Power level 5. They're 19 points each. Your Infiltrators are 22 points each here, and the Helix Adept is 32 points. Your Intercessor squad, remember, is 17 points. And look at that, Scout squad's 11, Tactical squad's 12. There's only 1 point difference now between those two. So I anticipate a resurge of the Tactical Marines, and I still think Intercessors are going to be one of the better choices. But we'll check out the Incursor here. 19 points, they are a bit cheaper than the Infiltrators. So your standard stat line. Here, nothing's different for them. Movement 6, still got 2 wounds, 2 attacks. Sergeant, extra attack, and leadership 8. So 1 Incursor Sergeant and 4 Incursors. It can additionally contain up to 5 Incursors. Every model is equipped with a bolt pistol, Oculus Bolt Carbine, paired combat blades, frag grenades, crack grenades, and every model has smoke grenades. So, bolt pistol, Oculus Bolt Carbine, range 24, rapid fire 1. Strength 4, AP 0, 1 damage, and ignores cover. That's it. Still, I think the Intercessors are king when it comes to firepower. Paired combat blades. Strength the user, AP 0, but again with the Doctrine that could change to AP -1. And 1 damage. When resolving an attack made by this weapon, unmodified hit roll of 6 scores an additional hit. So it is a bit tame, the bonus you get for that. You've got to roll 6 and it's unmodified to get the additional hit, so it's not that amazing. And your standard grenades. 1 Incursor can additionally have a Haywire Mine. So the Haywire Mine In your movement phase, one model from your army with a haywire mine. Only one of them can carry these. So maybe smaller squads of 5, and each one's got a haywire mine. Might pick the option. £10 if you want to give one to your squad. With a haywire mine that has not been primed, can prime it. At any point during that model's move, place a primed haywire mine within an inch of the model, more than 3 inches away from any enemy models, and more than 6 inches away from any other primed haywire mines. If an enemy unit moves within 3 inches of that primed haywire mine, roll a d6 on a 2+. That enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. If your unit is a vehicle, it's d3 plus 1. Should have been, I don't know, I was going to say should have been d6, but anyway, that primed haywire mine is then removed from play. So it can't be destroyed in combat, it just sits there. So a bit of ability to sort of area denial, a little bit. Yeah, it's fun. It's a very fun concept for sure. You can have multiple squads of these in curses planting these mines and on the battlefield. Yeah. Interesting. The primed haywire mine is represented by the primed haywire mine model, but does not count as a model for any rules purposes. Combat squads, you can split them up, conceal positions. When you set up this model during deployment, you can set it up anywhere on the battlefield more than 9 inches away from enemy models. So imagine you've got Tyranids pouring in, and you guys have infiltrated ahead, the incursors, and they're deploying all these mines and then pulling back. Very cool. Multi-spectrum array. Resolve an attack made by a ranged weapon by a model in this unit. Ignore any hit roll modifiers and ballistic skill modifiers. Yeah. Cool. Very good. And smoke grenades. Once per battle, instead of shooting a shooting phase, this unit can use its smoke grenades until the start of the next shooting phase, resolving an attack made by a ranged weapon against this target. Subtract 1 from the hit roll. So they can pull back and throw the grenades. Yeah, cool. It's great concepts here. Whether they're that scary as they stand, not really, but there's things you can no doubt stack, and stratagems and so on that you can stack up here to make them better. But great concepts though. Brilliant units. Oh, some seriously tough choices to make for my Red Scorpion. You know, it's a pure Primaris army, 2,000 points. I've got some serious considerations here, which direction. I can't go one unit of everything, it just looks silly. I've got to go for a theme here, and all these new releases. And the new Codex it's all in turmoil at the moment, but we'll see. And you've got your scouts here. Not going to dwell on these too much. Usual rules for them, 11 points each. I rate mine, they're very useful for my Blood Angels army, nice cheap battalion. Scouts, I still like the models, so I think they're very cool. So that's your scouts there. Primaris, Apothecary, it's just your ability to 4+ to restore a lost model to play, or you can restore D3 mortal wounds. Yep, standard Apothecary just there. Primaris Ancient. Yeah, 4+ this model can either shoot with one of its ranged weapons as if it were the shooting phase, or make an attack. So that's the usual, I think, for these. I don't think they've changed. Company Ancient just there. Company Champion. Just in case the rules have changed, honour or death, this model must perform heroic intervention if it's able to do so. It can perform heroic intervention if there are any units within 6 inches instead of 3. When doing so, it's 6 inches. Move it 6 inches instead of 3 as well, as long as it ends its move closer to the closest enemy character model. 5+ in 1 save the combat shield. Martial superiority. If this model is within an inch of any enemy character models at the start of the fight phase, it can fight first in the fight phase, even if it didn't charge. Right, so that's that special rule there. And then superlative duelist. And resolve an attack made by a melee weapon by this model against a character unit. You can reroll the hit roll, and you can reroll the wound roll. Yeah, interesting. You've got company veterans here. Don't think anything's really changed for them. You've got the 2 attacks with those. The bodyguard rule for them, protecting characters. Servitors, Ancient Terminator armor, Terminator squad. So really for them, it's just the Angels of Death, all the rules stacked up for them. So that's just going to generally improve Terminators along with the other units as well. Terminator Assault Squad, Cataphracti Terminator Assault Squad, Tartarus Terminator Squad, Vanguard Veterans of their 2 attacks, and they're really going to benefit from these improvements as well. You know, +1 on the charge for their attacks. Melee weapons get an extra AP -1. Brilliant. Yeah. So those an improvement for sure with those. So that's good news for the Vanguard Veterans. Maybe we'll see more of those units being used. Interesting. Sternguard Veterans. So they come with special issue bolt gun, range 30, rapid fire 1, strength 4, AP -2, potentially AP -3 now. So scary enough. And I wonder if they've taken a points tumble. Elite. Sternguard. See, I have them for my Blood Angels. I haven't used them for a long time. 14 points each. Interesting. Yeah. Standard Dreadnought. With its 4 attacks now. Has Angels of Death. Extra attack on the charge. Nice, an improvement for them. Really good. The Ironclad Dreadnought. The Venerable Dreadnought. Then your Contemptor Dreadnought here. And then the Redemptor. It's 13 wounds, 4 attacks, possibly 5 attacks on the charge. It gets Angels of Death as well. Not going to go for all of that. That's standard here. So the Invicta Tactical Warsuit. By the look of the model, I think it looks great. Yeah, the open cockpit there, fantastic. I think the rules, from what I've seen here, look pretty good as well. So, it's damage table there, movement 10. Wow, nice and quick. Brilliant. I think you'd have a lot of fun with this, with one of these. Yeah, I might do Primaris. I'm thinking Primaris like a solid base, like a intercessor sort of base battalion, and then have an infiltrating element to the army. I think that'd be a fun way to play my Red Scorpion army. That's what I'm thinking. So movement 10 drops to 8, then to 6. It still keeps pretty quick. Weapon skill then 3+, 4+, 5+. Strength 7. It's only toughness 6. 13 wounds though, 4 attacks, leadership 8, and a 3+ save. Does keep 3+ save, despite being open cockpit just there. It's armed with a Fragstorm grenade launcher, heavy bolter, incendium cannon, 2 iron howl heavy stubbers, and the Invicta fist. So the Fragstorm grenade launcher, range 18, assault D6, strength 4, AP 0, 1 damage. Heavy bolters. Heavy bolter. That's that one, like a sidearm it's carrying. Very, very cool idea. Usual rules to heavy bolter. And then the incendium cannon. That's this option here, which can be swapped out for the twin iron howl auto cannon. Range 12. Right, so depending on how you want to use it, if you want to get up close, then incendium cannon. It's auto hits, so a bit of protection on Overwatch. Heavy 2d6, strength 5 -1. So it's like a double heavy flame. The iron howl heavy stubber. Range 36, heavy 3, strength 4, -1, and 1 damage. So there's going to be 6 shots there because there's 2 of them. And the twin iron howl auto cannon, range 48, heavy 6, strength 7, -1, and 2 damage. So there'll be times you want to sit still with it and just let loose with a load of firepower. And it can stand up for itself in close combat with the Invicta fist. Strength 14. That's brilliant. AP -3. 3 damage. Yeah, that's brilliant. So you can swap it out for the autocannon. Angels of Death, all the rules apply there. Conceal position, so you can infiltrate it in. Anywhere on the battlefield during deployments more than 9 inches away from enemy deployment zone and models. And the heavy sidearm. When this model is an inch of enemy units, its heavy bolter has a type characteristic of pistol 3. So occasionally you'll get to use that in close combat. So, well, maybe a quick one of these just to get an idea of points costs. So you're starting at 90 points. I reckon I'd go for the autocannon version on it. So, Fragstorm Grenade Launcher. Just 4 points. With that, a heavy bolter. It's going to be 10 or 8 now. 10 points. So 104 points so far. The Twin Ironhout Autocannon. This could be the costly bit. 20 points, right, so 124. 124 Ironhout Heavy Stuffers. Uh, 12 points in total, 2 lots of 6. 6136. And 136 an Invictus, which should be free of charge. 0. Yeah, 136. Yeah, I reckon. I think I'm gonna get one of those, hopefully. I think they're pretty good firepower actually. Not bad. And the way it's equipped, you know, it's got heavy weapons, melee weapons, assault weapons. You really could. It'll benefit from each doctrine. So a nice bit of Dakka at the early stage of the game. Yeah, moving it around the table and then getting it stuck into close combat with the extra attack on the charge and the extra AP minus on the fist as well. It's like a tactical dreadnought, you know, tactically useful around the board and able to infiltrate in. Conceal positions, yeah, so it's going to fit in nicely, I think, to a lot of Space Marine or Primaris Marine armies for sure. And to have it fighting alongside your infiltrating units. Brilliant concept here. So I really like that Invicta Tactical Warsuit. Great job, brilliant model as well. So it's exciting. It's an exciting time for Space Marine players for sure. Fantastic array of units. You're getting your own supplements now for the different chapters. Everything's been improved. Games Workshop have listened to people's complaints about Space Marines, and yeah, they've implemented the improvements. So really good, really good. So logically, I think, if you know the answer to this, but logically, I guess more supplements for the different chapters, and then they'll start redoing the codexes logically for the other chapters. That have their own dedicated codex, so Space Wolves, Blood Angels. It's exciting times. Yeah, it's going to be a ripple effect onto the other chapters, all being well. But this is very powerful here. Space Marines, masses of units to choose from. You go for really nicely themed armies for sure. So it's and you know, even the humble regular Marine is vastly improved here. Reaver squads, don't need to go for all them. Some of my favourite models for Primaris, fantastic models. Got 2 lots of 5 of them, not painted yet, but do intend to have them. Aggressors. Now, 3 attacks each with these, 3 wounds. That may have changed here, possibly. And toughness 5. I really rate these. I think they look fantastic, and I rate them. I think they're brilliant. A lot of assault weapons here. Now, the amount of firepower these can kick out, if you start giving an AP minus 1 to these, that's a horrific amount of damage they can cause. You know, clearing away hordes very quickly. There's no minus for advancing and firing assault weapons of these as well. When this unit fires Overwatch or is chosen to shoot with, models this unit can shoot twice if the unit didn't move with Firestorm. And all the Angels of Death are all stacked on top with them. You know, 4 attacks on the charge with these. Wow. Aggressors, fantastic unit. Really good. Centurion Assault Squads. Bike Squads onto fast attack now. Your standard Assault Squads are going to be improved. It's like a cheap option and nice improvements. on them. The Inceptor squad. So the Assault Bolters, potential AP -2 of them. Then you go for the Plasma Exterminator option as well. Then you got your Suppressor squad. The Accelerator Autocannon. Heavy 2, AP -2, potentially now AP -3. So a bit of kick on those now. Pretty good. And then a tactical use for them as well. The Suppressing 5. If an enemy model is destroyed as a result of an attack made by an Accelerator Autocannon by a model in this unit, that enemy model's unit cannot fire Overwatch. That's pretty big. So it's like a tactical use for these. It's like a small squad could prove useful with them. Yeah. So you can always use them like Devastator. Because of the range, you can set them right at the back. And then the bonus is that you can move them quickly around the board. Movement 12. Scout Bike Squad. Land Speeders, Attack Bikes, Devastator Squads, Centurion Devastators, Eliminators. So you choose your round. Again, with all the bonuses there, they're all heavy. So at the start of the game, slightly more deadly with these. Hellblaster Squad. An improvement for them. Now, the new rules as well. Thunderfire Cannon. The Hunter. Just going to check this because it's still the one-shot weapon. Yeah, it's not that scary really. I had mine on my fist list and then I've dropped it because it's just a one-shot weapon, not too scary at all. The Stalker. It's Icarus Storm Cannon. Whirlwinds, Predators, they're going to benefit on turn 1 onwards potentially with the Devastator Doctrine as well. Yeah, it's got Angels of Death here. Vindigators, Land Raiders, Land Raider Crusader, Land Raider Redeemer, the Repulsor, Executioner here. This is with the heavier gun here. We'll go through this one. So, you know, I'm thinking for my Red Scorpion Army, the Primaris list, do I get one of these? Still has a transport capacity here. We'll run through the rules. Movement then. Movement 10. And then ballistics. The movement drops from 10 down to 5, so it significantly slows down if it takes damage, and down to 3-inch move. Slows down a lot. Ballistic skill 3+, 4+, 5+. Attack 6, then D6, and then 1. So this thing starts taking damage. It's not very good. Weapon skill 6+, strength and toughness 8. It's got 16 wounds there, loads of wounds. Leadership 9, 3 up, save. 2 frag storm grenade launchers, a heavy onslaught Gatling cannon, a macro plasma incinerator, 2 storm bolters, twin heavy bolter, twin Icarus Ironhow heavy stubber. It has auto launchers as well. So the macro plasma incinerator, that's the weapon that the Redemptor Dreadnought's armed with, I believe. So you can go standard, it's all range 36, standard of heavy D6, but volatile. You get 1 shot, you can get 6. Strength 8 -4, only 1 damage. Or you can go for supercharged, which is heavy D6, strength 9 -4, 2 damage. Each hit roll of 1, that's the bearer, takes mortal wound. So you could swap that out and then take the heavy laser destroyer. It sounds really good. It's range 72. It's heavy 2, strength 10, -4, D6 damage, and any damage rolls of 1 and 2 count as 3. So yeah, it's scary enough. But you'd need to be, I reckon, you'd still need your Captain Lieutenant combo to get the best out of that for sure. But no, it's a decent enough weapon. The model can additionally be equipped with an Ironhow heavy stubber, and it can be equipped with an Icarus rocket pod. Angels of Death special rule. Aquilian optics. If in your movement phase this model does not move, or moves a distance less than half its move characteristic, it can shoot with its heavy laser destroyer macro plasma incinerator twice. All of a sudden, it's amazing. Must target the same unit both times. But no, that is brilliant. If you move phase, this model does not move. Moves less than us. It can shoot with its laser, heavy laser destroyer macropressor in the following shooting base. That's fine. So I was wondering if you have to follow, wait till next turn, but you don't. Must be the same target. But it's fine. Does it say closest? So you can still choose your target, fire at it twice. Brilliant. Yeah, that's powerful enough for sure. The repulsor fields, it's -2 from the charge rolls. Someone trying to charge against it. It's a hover tank. Power machine spirit, so no minus to moving and firing heavy weapons. Great. Excellent. Auto launchers. -1 to hit rolls, it's like smoke launchers, and explodes. And you can still transport models. 6 Primaris infantry models. Excellent. Yeah, it's pretty good. I imagine it's going to be expensive, but decent enough. And that weapon on top, its ability to fire twice makes it more of a choice for sure. Rhinos, Razorbacks, drop pods, land speeder storm, repulsor, that's the previous model, the impulsor. So this is your floating rhino here. It's growing on me. I do like the look of it, but I just, the front of it, I just see a rhino. But it looks pretty good. But it's great news for Primaris. Yeah, you see a lot of Primaris armies, it's all foot based because they didn't really have any transports, but now you can make them up pretty good for sure. The impulsor then, and it's nice and quick around the table. Movement 14, brilliant speed on this. Then drops to 7, then to 4. Ballistic skill 3+4+5+, 3 attacks D3 and then 1. Weapon skill 6+, strength for tough to 7, 11 wounds, leadership 8 and 3 up save. And it's equipped with 2 storm bolters if you wish, and you can add stuff on top. Right, so you can go for a bare bones sort of cheap option if you need to. This model can be additionally equipped with 1 iron hail heavy stubber. This model can be equipped with 2 frag storm grenade launchers instead of 2 storm bolters. This model can have a shield dome or an orbital comms array, or it can be equipped with one of the following: 1 Mechanicus missile array or an iron hail sky talon array. Tough choice. You've got 4 options there. Right, so your shield dome, 4 up invuln save. You're looking to rush the opponent with these, you can give it 4+ invuln save, which is very, very useful. The orbital comms array. If in your shooting phase, one model from your army with an orbital comms array that has not been used this battle can use it to call in an orbital barrage. If it does, select 1 point in the battlefield and roll 1d6 for each unit within d6 of that point, subtracting 1 from result. If it's a character 4+, it's d3 mortal wounds. So no stratagems required, just brilliant. Line of sight? Nope. Yep. Okay. Fantastic. Yep, so you buy get an impulsor, put the orbital comms around it, hide the vehicle, and then just call down barrage for every turn of the game. And sit on objectives and so on. So pretty good. Yeah, it looks good fun. Yeah, it's got the repulsor field as well. It's an assault vehicle. If this after this model moves in your movement phase, if this model did not advance, any units embarked can disembark. Units that do so can not be chosen to charge that turn. Ow, ouch! So you can't charge. But you know, if it's got firepower, it'd be useful to get in range nicely with those models. So that's an interesting ability there. So then your firepower options then. Orbital comms array. It's a Mechanicus missile array. So you can go for its range 48. Crack missile. Heavy 1, strength 8, -2 and d6 damage. Okay. Frag missiles. So you could choose one of these. Heavy d6, strength 4. It's quite tame really. Icarus missiles. Heavy d3, strength 7, -1 d3 damage. Yeah, all quite tame. So you can then go for the Iron Hail Sky Talon array. Range 36. Heavy 6, strength 4, -1. When resolving, it's heavy, so on the earlier turns, potentially AP -2. When resolving an attack made by this weapon, add 1 to the hit roll, and add 1 to the wound roll if the target can fly. Otherwise, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Okay. So, yeah, it's the best looking option though. It does look very cool with the 2-barreled weapon on top. But no, nice tactical flexibility then. You can go for firepower if you need it, protection with the invuln save, or long range orbital barrages you can call in as well, which is pretty useful. Not been used in the battle, right? So you just want 1 of them. You can't have 10 of these all calling in barrages on the same turn. Interesting. Stormhawk Interceptor. I've been using one of those Imperial Fists. Yep. The Storm Raven gunship. Yep. I still rate it. I still like using them for my Blood Angels. The Storm Talon. I rate these. I think these are brilliant. And now potentially the Assault Cannon AP -2. So you've got to get it just right when you choose to change your doctrine here. You know, that strafing run particularly useful. Cool. And that's it. Alright, so that's the units then for the Marines. So they're just clarifying bolt weapons here. In the supplements, Blackout, Dawn's Arrow, Gauntlets of Ultramar, Gorgon's Wrath and Quietus are all count as bolt. Flame weapons, Gauntlet of the Forge and Drakis all count as flame. Clarifying Melter here, and this is the ranged weapons. Covered sort of the newer ones being used here. Other war gear covered just there. Nice to see, look at this, a column of the new tanks here. Those look cool. Games Workshop have there's a beautiful array now for Primaris Marines, a sense of completeness with these. I know perhaps there's more units to come, like biker equivalent units and so on, but yeah, they've got a sense they're sort of 2/3 of the way, 3/4 of the way there for an awesome collection here. And it's coming together well, beautiful. Okay, Legacy of the Primaris. So talk about your keywords here. So it's giving you your chapter tactics for these chapters. Note that Space Wolves, Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Death Watch, Grey Knights, Legion of the Damned deviate significantly in terms of organisation and fighting styles. These chapters therefore cannot make use of any of the rules in this section. Instead have their own rules in other publications. So there's going to be those codexes coming up. So Defenders of Humanity, that's your controlling objectives. Then your chapter tactics. So if your army's battle forged, you've got to get your organisation right. Units other than servitors in a Space Marine detachment, other than a super heavy auxiliary, so they've clarified that, you can't get it for that, gain the chapter tactics ability, so long as every unit in that detachment is drawn from the same chapter. Okay, so Ultramarines. Add 1 to leadership characteristic models of this tactic. Units of this tactic can shoot in a turn in which they fell back, but if they do so, resolving an attack made by a model in that unit in the shooting phase of that turn, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Now, what's been pointed out, what's interesting here for Ultramarines is even the vehicles, correct me if I'm wrong, get this now. So you could have a Predator in combat. It can pull out of combat and still shoot at -1 to the hit rolls, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is significant if that's the case. And it's an amazing rule, exclusively to the Ultramarines, so it's very, very useful. Siege Masters for Imperial Fists. When resolving an attack made by a ranged weapon by a model of this tactic, the target does not receive the benefit of cover, such as scrubs cover, to its save and throw, and if the attack was made by a bolt weapon, an unmodified hit roll of 6 scores an additional hits. The old benefit you used to get for Imperial Fist, it was reroll ones they used to get for Bolt of Fire, just a slightly better discipline, you're getting 6's additional hit with a bolt weapon. Yeah. So my Centurion Devastators with their Hurricane Bolters will benefit nicely from that. Yeah, okay. Nice. So no complaints. White Scars. Units of this tactic can charge in a turn in which they advanced or fell back. Superb. Biker models of this tactic do not suffer the penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons or for advancing and firing assault weapons. Fantastic. Excellent. Brilliant. And it really encourages you to go down the route of building your army to match the theme of the chapter. So you're getting rewarded for doing that. Raven Guard Shadow Masters. Resolving attacks made by a ranged weapon against a unit of this tactic by a model that's more than 12 inches away. That unit is treated as having the benefit of cover to its save and throw. And if that unit is a vehicle, if that unit is not a vehicle, and is, I think that clarifies that the Ultramarine vehicles do get that bonus because they're making them exempt here for this one, and is entirely within a terrain feature, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Right, you've got to be in terrain to get that, so that's a slight adjustment there. So, okay. Salamanders forged in battle. When a unit of this tactic fires Overwatch or is chosen to shoot or fight with, you reroll a single hit roll and you can reroll a single wound roll. Resolve an attack made with a weapon that has an armor penetration characteristic of -1 against a unit of this tactic. The weapon is treated as having an armor penetration characteristic of 0. Sort of double bonuses going on here for all of these. Iron Hands, the flesh is weak. When a model with this tactic loses a wound, roll a d6. On a 6th, the wound is not lost. Resolving an Overwatch attack made by a model with this tactic, a hit roll of 5 or a 6 is a hit. In addition, models with this tactic that have a damage table are considered to have double the number of wounds remaining for the purposes of determining what row to use in the damage table. Yeah, nice bonuses there for the Iron Hands. Black Templars, Righteous Zeal. When a charge roll is made for a unit of this tactic, you can roll any or all of the dice. In addition, when a model with this tactic would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound, roll 1d6 on a 5+, the wound is not lost. So Black Templars then, what's going to happen to them? There's no indication they're going to have a codex. Oh, well, they get a supplement. That's okay. Yeah, they're going to get a supplement here, and that's where all their characters will be found. So I think that's going to be good news for Black Templars players. I think they're going to be happy. They're going to get their own supplement dedicated. Cool. Right, brilliant. And then Crimson Fists, no matter the odds. So will we see supplements for all of these? Can't see why not. When resolve an attack made by model with this tactic against a unit that contains at least 5 models in the model's unit, add 1 to the hit roll. For the purpose of this tactic, a vehicle model with this tactic counts as 5 models. In addition, when resolving an attack made by a bolt weapon, a model with this tactic and a modified hit roll of 6 scores an additional hit. Yeah, because they're similar to the fists, so they partake of the same benefit there. Successor chapter tactics. I reckon I'll go through these because it's new rules here, and I think a lot of people are going to be interested in how you can configure your own chapter. If your chosen chapter does not have an associated chapter tactic on page 175, you must instead create their chapter tactic by selecting rules from the list here. Unless otherwise stated, your chapter has 2 successor tactics from the following list. So you can pick 2. Right. This is there could be some hidden gems here. So bolter fusillades. Resolve an attack made by a bolt weapon by a model of this tactic. Reroll hit rolls of 1. Brilliant. Yeah, this is great here. Born heroes, character units from this tactic. With this tactic, can perform heroic intervention. It's 6 inches instead of 3, and you move 6 instead of 3. Cool. So it's like Space Wolves. Duelists. When resolve an attack by a melee weapon by a model of this tactic against an infantry or biker unit, unmodified hit roll of 6 automatically scores a hit and successfully wounds. You cannot select this tactic if you have already selected the Whirlwind of Rage. Alright, so they're carefully restricting you here that you can't go for deadly Death Star combos of these. Fearsome Aspect. Subtract 1 for leadership characteristic of enemy units within 3 units from your army of this tactic. It's good fun. I mean, you can go and research all the different chapters that are out there, and then you can research the history of that chapter and see how they fight, and then you can configure your own rules to match them. Great fun. Brilliant, really good. So hungry for battle. When a unit with this tactic advances or makes a charge move, add 1 to the advance roll or charge roll. Wow, brilliant. Here, this is there's some great ones in here. Indomitable. When a morale test is taken for a unit of this tactic, no more than 1 model can flee. So I think I'm going to be going to this for my Red Scorpions. I think. Okay. Okay. Yep. Space Marines units and detachments. Space units and the Adeptus as one of the following faction keywords. So I think Red Scorpions are going to come from here, I think, which could be interesting for sure. A morale test, Indomitable. When a morale test is taken for unit of this tactic, no more than 1 model can flee. Inheritors of the Primarch. You can select the Successor tactic. You cannot select a second. Select one of the following chapters and use the chapter tactic of that chapter as listed on page 175. Great. This is very cleverly done. So you can select Ultramarines, Imperial Fist, White Scars, Raven Guard, Salamanders, right hand. So I can go Red Scorpions, and I can say I'll go for Inheritors of the Primarch, and I'll take Imperial Fists, and that's sorted. Or not. I might use one of these ones here. Knowledge is power. The psychic test, neither which test is taken for a psycho model with this tactic. Reroll any dice roll of 1. Not that amazing. That hungry for battle is a good one. Reroll or a +1 to advance and charge rolls. Very good. Reroll 1s for shooting as well. Bolter fusillades. Pretty good. Long range marksman. Add 3 to the range characteristic of ranged weapons. Add the models are equipped with. Master Artisans. When a unit of this tactic fires Overwatch or is chosen to shoot or fight with, you can reroll a single hit roll and a single wound roll. Yeah, useful. Preferred enemy. When you select this tactic, select one of the following faction keywords: Tyranids, Eldar, Ork, Heretic, Astartes, Necrons, Tau Empire. Resolve an attack with a melee weapon by model of this tactic against unit with the faction keyword in a turn in which the model made a charge move, was charged or performed heroic intervention. You can reroll the hit roll. Pretty good. Yeah. You really can theme your chapter really well with these. Rapid assault. No penalty for advancing and firing assault weapons. Signs of the Forge. Models of this tactic have a damage table. I consider to have double the number of wounds remaining. So similar to Iron Hands. Stalwart here, when resolving an attack made by a unit of this tactic, an unmodified wound roll of 1 or 2 always fails, irrespective of any abilities the weapon or the model making that attack may have. Interesting. To try and protect units. Stealthy. Resolve an attack made by a ranged weapon against a unit of this tactic by a model that's more than 12 inches away. It's treated as having the benefit of cover. So there's a bit of a repeat going on here, but it means, oh, I don't have Iron Hands, I don't have, I've got a different, you can still use similar kind of rules without actually having that specific chapter. Stoic. Add 1 to leadership characteristic models of this tactic. Tactical withdrawal. Units of this tactic can charge in a turn in which they fell back. Warded. Model of this tactic would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound if 5+6 not lost, and whirlwind of rage. When resolving an attack made by a melee weapon by a model of this tactic in a turn in which the model's unit made a charge move, was charged, performed heroic intervention, a modified hit roll of 6 scores an additional hit. You cannot select this tactic if you have already selected the duelist's tactic. Yeah, great. This is a great page to add in here. So, Games Workshop giving you the scope to go for your own chapter and then to use some official rules to represent that chapter is brilliant. Warlord Traits. Okay. The Space Marines chapter character model is your Warlord. you can use the Space Marines Warlord Traits table to determine what Warlord Traits Warlord trait they have. You roll 1d6 to randomly generate one, or you can select one. For Space Marines Chapter Phobos character model is your Warlord, you can instead use the Vanguard Warlord Traits. So again, you want to go for that Phobos sort of infiltrator Vanguard type themed army, then get your own specific Warlord Traits to go with that as well. Okay, so I wonder which one. I'm thinking of my Imperial Fist army, which is a lot of firepower gun line, and then my Primaris Red Scorpions, which I'm not sure the direction for those. Maybe that split that I was talking about earlier on. Space Marine Warlord Traits. Fear Made Manifest. Select or subtract 1 for the leadership characteristic of enemy units whilst within 6 of your Warlord. I don't think I'll bother with that one. God, yeah, that's very good. Imperium's Sword. When a charge roll is made for your Warlord, you can reroll any or all of the dice. If in the charge phase this Warlord makes a charge move or performs a heroic intervention, you have 1 to strength and attacks characteristic in the following fight phase. Yeah, maybe if your Warlord's super good in combat, but no, I think I'll avoid that one. Iron Resolve. Add 1 to the wounds characteristic of your Warlord, and when he loses a wound, 6, the wound is not lost. Not bad. Champion of Humanity. Add 1 to Warlord's attacks characteristic whilst there are enemy characters units within an inch. Or one enemy character. When resolving an attack made by a melee weapon with this Warlord against a character, add 1 to the hit roll and wound roll. Yes, okay, and then Storm of Fire. Resolve an attack made by a ranged weapon by a friendly chapter unit within 6 of the Warlord, and an unmodified hit roll of 6. And a penetration characteristic of that attack is improved by 1. So it's a hit roll, not a wound roll for Storm of Fire. And remember, you can't stack it up with your Doctrine abilities. Then Rites of War. This Warlord has Defenders of Humanity ability, and morale test is taken for any chapter units within 6. Do not roll the dice, it's auto pass. Right, so it's bolstering your troops with that. Vanguard Warlord Traits. You got chapter traits here. Might draw from one of these. This one here for the fists. Shoot and Fade. At the start of your shooting phase, you can select 1 friendly chapter Phobos unit within 6 of your Warlord. After shooting with that unit, it can move as if it was your movement phase. If it does, it must advance and cannot declare a charge in the following charge phase. Yeah, interesting. That's quite useful. Yeah, I like that one. Lord of Deceit. At the start of the first battle round, before the first turn begins, select up to 3 friendly chapter Phobos units on the battlefield. Remove them from the battlefield and set them up again as described in the deployment section of the mission. As a roll-off if you have similar abilities. That's really good as well. You get pretty good tactical ones here. Both of those are brilliant. Master of the Vanguard. Add 1 to the move characteristic of friendly chapter Phobos units within 6 of the Warlord. Add 1 to advanced rolls and charge rolls made for friendly chapter Phobos units whilst within 6 of the Warlord. That one's superb as well. Compared to these are brilliant. +1 to the charge rolls. Yeah, so there's, the dreaded 9-inch charge for deep striking and so on seems to be, we may see this repeated for other codexes, not just for Space Marines, but for the other factions, abilities to improve that 9-inch charge. So encouraging for Blood Angels players, there could well be some decent improvements on that. Because it really is a handicap for assault-based armies when a 9-inch charge is it's 50-50 and it's in a game that's not very reliable. But that really helps. Possibly stackable with the other benefits we saw earlier. Stealth Adept. Resolve an attack made by a Warlord. Subtract 1. Or against the Warlord, it's -1 from the hit roll. It's okay. Target priority at the start of the shooting phase. Select 1 friendly Phobos unit within 3 of the Warlord. To the end of that phase, resolve an attack made with a ranged weapon by a model in that unit. Add 1 to the hit roll. Okay, and then Marksman's Honours. Add 1 to the damage characteristic of ranged weapons this Warlord is equipped with. This does not apply to grenades or relics. Okay, I'd say that's the better set there. The chapter Warlord Traits, then Ultramarines, Adept of the Codex. Whilst just thinking of James choosing this one. Whilst this warlord is on the battlefield, you can roll 1d6 for each command point you spend. On a 5+, that command point is refunded. Yeah, this is the one that James will take. You can only have one command point refunded per battle round by this Warlord trait. Yep. Imperial Fists, Architect of War. When resolve an attack made by a weapon that has an armor penetration characteristic of -1 against a friendly Imperial Fist unit within 6 of the Warlord and receiving the benefit of cover, add 2 to the saving throw instead of 1. Yes, not bad. It's only against my AP -1 shots coming through though. So it's okay. You need to remember it though, so which one is going to be tricky to remember. White Scar's Deadly Hunter. After this warlord makes a charge move, you can select one enemy unit of an inch, roll a d6 on a 2+, suffers a mortal wound. Not that scary. And then Raven Guard, Silent Stalker. Enemy units cannot fire Overwatch. Yeah, that's very powerful. Salamanders, add 2 to the strength characteristic of the warlord. That's pretty good. +2 strength. Brilliant. Iron Hands, Merciless Logic. Resolve an attack made by this warlord. A modified hit roll of 6. You can make an additional attack against the same unit using the same weapon. This additional tactic cannot generate another attack. It's like Goths for Orks, that one there. Black Templars, Oath Keeper. This warlord can perform a heroic intervention if they are an enemy. If there are enemy units within 6 inches instead of 3, and they can move 6 instead of 3. Okay. And Crimson Fists refuse to die. The first time this warlord is destroyed, roll a d6. End of the phase on a 4+, return the warlord to play a d3 wounds remaining, placing them as close as possible to their previous position, more than an inch away from enemy models. Yeah, a brilliant one, that one. Very cool. So you can customise your own Primaris captain, for example. Given this refuse to die, great trait to have. Brilliant. Really good. Okay, stratagems then. Space Marine stratagems in the past. There's been some real solid ones there. Honour the chapter and so on. We'll go through these and see what these are like. Okay, so if some of these are familiar, I'll sort of skip them. Armor of Contempt, 5+, ignoring mortal wounds. All specs scan, 2 command points for that one. 12 inches an infantry unit. -1 to hit rolls, but you can shoot it when they deep strike in. Suppression fire. 2 command points. So use the stratagem in your shooting phase when a whirlwind model or thunderfire cannon model from your army that's not moved is chosen to shoot with. You can choose to shoot with it an additional time. When it does, it can only shoot with the weapon with weapons that can target units that are not visible to the bearer. Yeah, pretty good. You get to shoot twice. 2 command points though. And then only in death does duty end. That's your character. It's destroyed. You can either shoot as if it were the shooting phase or fight as if it were the fight phase. So that one remains. Brilliant. 2 command points. Chapter Master. 2 command points. Use the stratagem before the battle. If your army does not include a Chapter Master model, select an Adeptus Astartes Captain model from your army. It's not a named character. Replace the model's Captain keyword with Chapter Master. Replace its rights to battle ability of Chapter Master. You can reroll hit rolls for attacks made by models in chapter units whilst they're in 6 inches. So that's combat and shooting. It's reroll hit rolls. Again, I mean, I could be wrong on this, but it's not reroll failed hit rolls. So that could be. It's pretty good. And death to the traitors. 1 command point. Use a stratagem in the fight phase with an Adeptus Astartes unit if your army is chosen to fight with. To the end of that phase, you can resolve an attack. When you resolve an attack made with a melee weapon against a heretic Astartes unit, unmodified hit roll of 6, it's additional attack. So like death to the false emperor, but in reverse. It's interesting how the Imperial have to pay for that. Chaos Space Marine players just get it as a standard. Honour the chapter, 3 command points. It selects an Astartes unit from your army with an inch of enemy units. You can fight an additional time. Adeptus Astartes, use that on a Dreadnought. Duty Eternal, 1 command point. An Adeptus Astartes Dreadnought model from your army is chosen for an attack to the end of the phase and resolve an attack made by against that model. Halve the damage inflicted, rounding up. Wow. Result until the end of the phase and resolve an attack made by against that model. That is that's fantastic. Dreadnoughts don't last too long, but that is a superb stratagem for 1 command point. Really useful for the Primaris Dreadnoughts. Halve the damage. That's very, very powerful, that one. Great reward there for those using Dreadnoughts in their list. Flak Missile, that's the D3 mortal wounds. Veteran Intercessors, 1 or 2 command points. Use a stratagem before the battle. Select 1 Intercessor squad from your army that contains 5 models for 1 command point, or Intercessor squad from your army that contains 6 or more models for 2 command points. Add 1 to the attacks and leadership characteristic of models in that unit. Each Intercessor squad unit can only be selected for this stratagem once per battle. So +1 attack and leadership. Yeah, if you're going to be using them in combat, but it's for Intercessors. Okay, Bolt Storm, 2 command points. Use this stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Select 1 Intercessor squad from your army until the end of that phase. Auto bolt rifles that models in the unit are equipped with gain the following ability. When resolving an attack made by this weapon against a target that is within half range, do not have to make a hit roll, it's auto hits. Pretty good. God. Scary. Hunter Slayer missile. Use the stratagem to shoot your face. Select 1 repulsor model from your army to launch a Hunter Slayer missile. Select 1 enemy vehicle or monster unit within 48. It's not within an inch of enemy other units. Roll 1d6. If the result is equal to or greater than the model's ballistic skill, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. Each repulsor can only be selected for this stratagem once per battle. Okay. Nice. Cool, you have to mark that on your vehicle somehow, but that's useful to call upon that during the game. Cluster mines, scout bike squad. Use a stratagem when a scout bike squad from your army falls back before it moves. Select 1 enemy unit of an inch. 2+ is D3 mortal wounds. Brilliant. Hellfire shells, that's your heavy bolter with mortal wounds. Gravitic amplification. Use a stratagem 1 command point when Adeptus is started unit your army is chosen to shoot with. To the end of the phase, resolve an attack made with a grav weapon or grav amp. Made by grav cannon and grav amp by a model in that unit. You can reroll the wound roll and you reroll the damage roll. Only 1 command point. Useful. Masterful marksmanship. Stern Guard veteran squad fires Overwatch where it's chosen to shoot with. To the end of that phase, resolve an attack made by a special issue bolt gun by model in that unit. Add 1 to the wound roll. Okay, and then the rapid fire is 2 command points. Use your stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Select an Intercessor squad from your army. Until the end of that phase, bolt rifles. Bolt rifles that models in the unit are equipped with have a type characteristic of rapid fire 2. There's tons of shots available from them. Yeah. Useful on larger units, so units of 10 for example. There's 2 command points for that. But lots of shots, potential 4 shots each, just long range if you're sitting still. And yeah, this is half the stratagem so far. So orbital bombardment, 3 command points. Please, they must have improved this. Oh no. Yes, the stratagem can be used once per battle. When your shooting phase, if Adeptus is started, Warlord from your army is on the battlefield. Select 1 point in the battlefield and roll 1d6. For each unit within d6 of that point, subtract 1 from the result if it's a character. 4+, it's D3 mortal wounds. Oh dear. It's so terrible. That's managed to sneak into the codex, that one there, dear me. Oh no. I think the amount of Space Marine players that have tried that in a game, alright, I'm going to use orbital bombardment, and they use it, and then at the end of it they go, I'm never going to use that stratagem again. Well, that's probably happened 1,000 times. Thousands of times, 10,000 times. Space Marine players just vowing to never use orbital bombardment again. It's not improved at all. Oh dear, I thought they'd really pick up on that one. Okay, But then maybe, you know, keep that bad and then everyone will buy the new floating rhino. That's the logic, maybe. Relics of the chapter, that's your relics. Use a stratagem before the battle. Your army can have one additional relic. And that's it. You can't take a third relic. Hammer of Wrath, 1 command point. Use a stratagem when a jump pack unit for your army finishes a charge move. For each model in that unit, you can select one enemy unit within an inch of that model, roll 1d6, and a 5+, it's mortal wound. Brilliant. Really good. 5 pluses for mortal wounds. Each model in unit. Yeah, that's really cool. So now Assault Marines, with that stratagem, humble Assault Marines is scary enough. It's fantastic. It really is good. Yep, you might see a resurge of them, and I always love the look of the Assault Marine. Just bolt pistol and chainsword, nice and cheap. Decent stratagem, and new universal rules for Space Marines. Useful units to have for sure. Big guns never tire. 1 command point. Use a stratagem in your shooting phase. Adeptus to start his vehicle from a unit it's chosen to shoot with. At the end of that phase, the unit does not suffer the penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons. Yeah, okay, very useful. Fury of the Fist. Fury of the First. 1 command point, use the stratagem in any phase, select one Adeptus to start his Terminate unit from your army until the end of the phase, resolve an attack made by model on that unit, add 1 to the hit roll. Great. Yeah, so it's a very useful stratagem set. Target sighted, 3 command points. Use the stratagem at the start of your shooting phase, select an Intercessor squad from your army. This better be good for 3 command points. Until the end of the phase, Stalker bolt rifles, that unit. That models in that unit are equipped with gain the following ability. This weapon can target a character even if it's not the closest enemy unit. When resolving an attack made by this weapon, a wound roll of 6+ inflicts 1 mortal wound on the target in addition to any other damage. That is utterly deadly. You've got a unit of 10 of those coming at AP -2, potentially -3, and 2 damage a time, and you can pick on characters. That is scary. Big incentive now to go for that option. Stalker bolt rifle. Powerful one, that one. Powerful, very, very powerful. Tremor shells. 1 command point. Use a stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Select a Thunderfire cannon from your army until the end of that phase and resolve an attack made by that model. Subtract 1 for the wound roll. But if a hit is scored, the target is shaken by your opponent's next movement phase. The unit cannot fly and is not Titanic. If a unit that cannot fly and is not Titanic is shaken, halve its move characteristic and the result of any advance and charge roll. It's only 1 command point, so useful if you want to try and slow units down, playing defensively, then that's useful for sure. Wisdom of the Ancients, your hit rolls are 1 for your Dreadnoughts. Skyfire, use a stratagem in shooting phase when a Hunter model or a Stalker model for your army is chosen to shoot with. At the end of that phase, that model can only target units that can fly. Resolve an attack made by that model, add 1 to the hit roll and wound roll, and an unmodified roll of 6, double the damage. Right, so the Hunter could be pretty good. Now, you're better-ish, it's okay, it's an improvement. I think it would benefit the Stalker more, all those extra shots. Double the damage. So potential 12 damage there. But that's useful to add that in. That's a help to those units, the Hunter and the Stalker for sure. So that's good they've done that. Steady advance, 1 command point. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase. Adeptus to start his infantry unit from your army is chosen to shoot with. At the end of that phase, the purposes of the bolter discipline ability, that unit is treated as if it had remained stationary in the previous movement phase. Yep, so you can combine that with target sighted if you have to deploy or move into position to fire at the target. Play steady advance as well. Skilled Riders, 2 command points. Use the stratagem in your movement phase. Select one Adeptus Astartes Biker or Adeptus Astartes Land Speeder from your army. If that unit moves that phase, then models in that unit have a 4+ invuln save against attacks made with ranged weapons to the start of your next movement phase. If the unit advances that phase, models in that unit gain a 3+ invuln save against attacks made by ranged weapons to the start of your next movement phase. Unbelievable, it's like Jinx almost made a comeback here. Skilled Riders, fantastic. But would you really be looking to protect a land speeder? It's not the most significant of units or a biker. Maybe a biker unit would be better. A large unit of bikers. Decent stratagem for them. Hero of the chapter. Use this one command point. Use this before the battle after nominating your warlord. Select one Adeptus to start his character model from your army that is not your warlord and determine one warlord trait for it. It is regarded as your warlord for the purposes of the warlord trait. Each warlord trait in your army must be unique. If randomly generated, you roll duplicates. Use a stratagem once per battle. So an extra ability to take a trait there. Transhuman physiology. 2 command points. Use a stratagem when Adeptus start his unit for your army. It is not a vehicle or a servitor is chosen as a target of an attack. For an attack. Till the end of the phase and resolve an attack made against that unit. A modified wound roll of 1 or 2 or 3 always fails, irrespective of any abilities that the weapon model making the attack may have. It's not a vehicle or a servitor. Okay. That's pretty good. It's a good stratagem to help protect your army or units there. Vengeance of the Machine Spirit. Use the stratagem, 2 command points. Use the stratagem. There's a lot of new ones here. This is good. We use the stratagem when Adeptus start his Land Raider model, Repulsor model, or a Storm Raven gunship model is destroyed. That model can either automatically explode, do not roll a d6, shoot once with its ranged weapons as if it was the shooting phase. Wow. Or make one attack in the melee with one of its melee weapons as if it were the fight phase. Use the top row of the model's damage table when shooting with the ranged weapon, or resolving that attack with a melee weapon. Let's just get this right here. Shoot with one of its ranged weapons. Okay, just the one. But yeah, may well prove useful. Plenty of options there with that. Vengeance of the Machine Spirit. Okay. Tactical flexibility. Use 1 command point. Use a stratagem at the start of your movement phase. Select any number of Adeptus starters units from your army that have the combat squad's ability and contain 10 models. Each of those units is divided into 2 units of 5 models. Any rules effects that apply to units selected with a stratagem applied to both units of 5 models. So you can have a larger unit, apply a stratagem, split the unit, they both get it. Cool. Adaptive strategy. Use the stratagem at the start of the battle round if there are chapter character models from your army on the battlefield before you charge. Before you change which combat doctrine is active. If the assault doctrine is currently active, you can change it so the tactical doctrine is now active. Alternatively, it's only 1 command point. If the tactical doctrine is currently active, you can change it so the devastator doctrine is active. You're going to use a stratagem once per battle. Right, useful. You can go back 1 if you need to. Gene Wrought Might. 1 command point. Use a stratagem in the fight phase and a Primaris infantry unit for your army is chosen to fight with. To the end of the phase and resolve an attack made with a melee weapon by unit. The unit, unmodified hit roll of 6, automatically scores a hit and successfully wounds the target. Do not make a wound roll. Yeah, pretty good. The unit I automatically thought of there was aggressors. Just auto wounds. You know, those fists like fighting against a vehicle, for example. Pretty good. So stratagems. Usually, like for a faction, you're gonna have like 10 stratagems that are the good ones laid out. There's loads here. Loads of good ones. Loads of new ones here, and I think there's only a few that I would say are pretty poor. The rest are pretty good. Yeah, and they've picked out units helping out Storm Raven gunships. The Hunter and Stalker being helped out here. Dreadnoughts being helped out with that halving the damage. So, you know, it's not just all Primaris. They've spread these around the different units. So great job with these stratagems. Excellent. Right, relics here. This is going to be interesting. What relics you can take. So Armor Indomitus. Infantry or biker model only. It's a save characteristic of 2+, and you can, when you're required to make a save and throw, you can activate a 3+ invuln save. So that stayed the same. I usually take that on my lieutenant for my fists. The Shield Eternal. It's if you're armed with a Storm Shield or Combat Shield, relic replaces the Combat Shield or Storm Shield. It's 3+ invuln save. In addition, the model would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound on a d6. 5+ the wound is not lost. Cool. Standard of the Emperor Ascendant. it has this relic, add 3 to the range of the model's Astartes banner ability. Oh, has this changed? Add 3 to the range of a model's Astartes banner ability, so it becomes range 9. When a morale test is taken for any chapter units within 9 inches of that model, do not roll a dice, it's auto pass. In addition, subtract 1 from the leadership characteristic of enemy units whilst within 9 of that model. So it seems like there's no plus to the activation roll, 4 plus to shoot again or fight again. That's gone, I think. Interesting. Teeth of Terror. It's with a chain sword. Then becomes +1 strength, AP -2, and 2 damage. And when the bearer fights, it's 3 additional attacks with the weapon as well. So it's a pretty good relic, that one. Primarchs are off here. It's a bolt gun, mastercrafted bolt gun. Model equipped with a bolt gun or mastercrafted bolt gun only. It replaces that, so you get range 24, rapid fire, 2 strength, 5, -1, 2 damage. Burning blade. It's equipped with a power sword or mastercrafted power sword. The replacement is +3 strength, AP -5, and 2 damage. That's pretty good. Purgatorus. Model equipped with a bolt pistol or heavy bolt pistol only. It's range 12, pistol 2, strength 5, -3, 2 damage. Very good. Then Reliquary of Gaffalamor, Primaris model only. When a psychic test is being taken for an enemy model within 18 of a model from your army with this relic, subtract 1 from the total. In addition, when a psychic test is failed for an enemy model within 18 of a model from your army with this relic, or 1d6 and a 4 plus, the enemy model suffers d3 mortal wounds. That's pretty good, that one, quite potent. The Bellicos bolt rifle. Model equipped with a mastercrafted bolt rifle only. It's range 24, assault 4, strength 5, -1 and 2 damage. Yeah, it's pretty good. Next one is called Lament. Model equipped with a mastercrafted stalker bolt rifle. It becomes range 36, heavy 1, strength 5, -2 and 3 damage. Resolve an attack made by this weapon, a successful wound roll. A successful wound inflicts 1 mortal wound on the target in addition to any other damage. Wow. That one's a good one, for sure. They're all pretty potent here. The Ghost Weave Cloak. Phobos model with a camo cloak. Resolving an attack made against the model of this relic, subtract 1 from the wound roll. Tome of Malkador. Librarian model of this relic knows 1 additional psychic power from any discipline they have access to. Benediction of Fury. Chaplain model. Replaces the Crozius Arcanum, +2 strength, AP -2, 3 damage. Wow, brilliant. And then unmodified wound rolls of 6 inflict a mortal wound in addition to the other damage. Fantastic. The Honor Vehement. Friendly chapter units are treated as not having a shock assault ability whilst within 6 inches of model for an army with this relic. Instead, add 1 to the attacks characteristic of models. And friendly chapter units whilst within 6 of model for an army with this relic. So it's a standard +1 attack all the time instead of just on the charge. I think that's what that one is. The Vox Spiritum Primaris model. If a model has this relic, add 3 inches to the range of its aura abilities, for example, Rites of Battle. This does not increase the range of psychic powers or litanies of battle that are aura abilities. So a bonus there if you really want to increase your aura abilities, just there. Now some great relics there. Some really good weapon upgrades for sure. Yep. And that the Honor Vehement there is pretty good. So yeah, all pretty good. Librarian's Discipline, Obscuration Discipline, we've covered those. Litters of Battle, we've covered those. And then just points at the back here. So that's your points. Just there. So people have asked, can I cover the tactical objectives here? So death from above, score 1 victory point if at least 1 enemy unit was destroyed in your turn. The last model of that enemy unit was destroyed as a result of an attack by an Adeptus Astartes unit that can fly or has arrived by reinforcements during this turn. Honour your chapter. Score 1 victory point if at least one enemy character model lost a wound as a result of an attack made by psychic power manifested by an Adeptus to start his character model for your army this turn. Pretty big incentive to take characters, psychers. Score D3 victory points instead if an enemy character model was destroyed as a result of such an attack or psychic power. No mercy, no respite. 1 victory point if at least one enemy unit was destroyed and or failed a morale test this turn. Score D3 victory points instead if 3 or more enemy units were destroyed and or failed morale test this turn. For the Emperor, roll or score 1 victory point if at least one Adeptus start his infantry or Adeptus start his bike unit from your army. Finish the charge with this turn. It's an easy point. Lightning Strike, score 1 victory point if at least one enemy unit that was entirely within your deployment zone at the start of the turn was destroyed. This turn one Adeptus start his unit from your army. Straightforward as well. And the Emperor's Retribution, D3 victory points if you control at least one objective marker that was controlled by your opponent at the start of the turn. D3 plus 3 points instead if you control 3 or more objective markers that were controlled by your opponent. So you really got to close in for the kill, but a big reward if you're able to do it. And that is the review for the new book. So Space Marines have taken a leap forwards for sure. Some great universal rules that apply to all the units, which is brilliant. All the units now. So Games Workshop haven't written off regular Marines, which was the fear. They have given everything a boost, which is great news. Still Primaris, fantastic, but regular Marines are still in it there for sure. A cheaper option with those extra rules, still potent enough. Big improvement, so that's great news. Like for my Imperial Fist, for example, which is just a pure standard regular Marine army. And then the new units being added in, they look fantastic, they look great, all of them. That Dreadnought, I really like that one. It looks pretty cheap in points, a nice lot of firepower, nice tactical versatility with it as well, able to infiltrate in. Great long range firepower, and it can fight in close combat pretty good as well. So an excellent unit. Stratagems look healthy enough, so all in all, it looks great news here for Space Marine players. An exciting time to be collecting Space Marines for sure, and it's great to see this Codex redone. And these supplements being brought out. It's excellent. Games Workshop really covering all these chapters really well. So I'll review the other 2 supplements in separate videos, so you can check those out individually as well. But there it is. Special thanks to Games Workshop for sending me out the Codex ahead of time. Check out gamingfigures.com. They do Games Workshop stuff at a discounted rate as well. But there it is. That's the review. Keep a look out for more reviews in the future. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time, and leave your own comments in the comment section below, and discuss the new Codex. What's your take? You know, if you're an experienced Space Marine player, what's your own take on this Codex that's come out? I think it looks really good. It's a good job Games Workshop have done, and so excited enough to see how this affects the Space Marine armies that we have on the channel. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time.